Finding food post throat cancer surgery obviously is a challenge, especially when calories are important and protein is important and it has to pass the swallow test. It has to be something that will go down and not hurt. So there were a bunch of things that we really wanted to work and thought would work, and they just didn't. Lots of this was these protein drinks. There are a number of one swallow protein drinks in the refrigerator now because they were just too acidic. They have plenty of protein, that was important. Obviously they've got great calories, but there was just too much acid in them and it burned going down, and that made it not work. Even just here, berries were too acidic, and that was kind of a surprise. Really wanted this to work, this applesauce, because of the electrolytes. But again, applesauce was too acidic, and of course that meant apple juice was too acidic. So neither of those things worked. Actually thought that yogurt would be a really good fit, but even there was too much burn for that. That was a surprise. And then was really hopeful that bone broth would work, chicken broth. Those things, the bone broth of course has tons of protein, and it just gives you a little bit of variety. So you can kind of get away from having sweet things, but the problem here was the heat. Anything that was warm didn't feel great, and it's not really super fun to drink chicken broth or bone broth if it's not warm. So those were things that were difficult. There were some great things that did work. This Green Goodness was the big time winner at the beginning of surgery. For the first 5 days after surgery, this was primarily what was easy to get down. This felt good because it's got lots of vitamins in it, lots of things that feel healthy. And it was easy enough to drink. This is just a little bit thicker than water. Anything that was just like liquid, really had the possibility of coming out of his nose. So this just a little bit thicker helped a lot. Of course, protein drinks, those were a staple. Continue to be a staple. And then we found these Core Power that have the 42 grams of protein, which when it's hard to swallow, every swallow matters. So if we were able to get 42 grams of protein in one bottle, that really helped a lot. This vitamin water was what he used and is still using anytime he needed to take medicine, so that he was getting some calories and some electrolytes with every swallow, since that seemed to be important. And then when we kind of moved away from liquids, what we really found that worked a lot was melon. Melon and bananas are the fruits and vegetables that have the lowest acidity. So those were the things that were easiest to make into smoothies and felt the best. And cold continued to really be kind of the most valuable thing. And then these things, sherbet and sorbet, very, very, very vital, because number one, they're cold. They do some calories, but we can mix meds into them. And so they allow him to take his Tylenol and to take other meds that can't be swallowed, and make them smooth enough to go down. They kind of coat the acidity of the medicine so that it can be swallowed a little bit easier. So now on week 3, we're kind of moving on to a little bit more solid things. So looking forward to like Jello and pudding and mashed potatoes and those kinds of things. So we'll see how those things go. But it's definitely been trial and error, kind of figuring out what things weren't going to work and what things were going to work through this whole process.